Having a generator could save the day. They fly off the shelves like bread and water when storms strike. A generator that powers your home, even if it doesn't power your home. I mean, just having your refrigerator, be able to charge your phone,
yeah,
things like that. But they can be really dangerous when not used properly.
All right, some Consumer Product Safety Commissioner says that more than 900 people died of carbon monoxide poisoning and thousands were injured while using portable generators from 2005 to 2017. National home improvement expert and host of today's Homeowner, Danny Lipford, joins us now on tips to stay safe. All right, Danny, let's go back to a little bit of what Steph was talking about. You can buy a generator on the small line to do your refrigerator or your cell phones, or you can go with a whole house system. That's where you start, isn't it? Decide which one's right for you.
Well, Certainly it is. I'll tell you, using a portable generator can really help you get through those times when the power's out, because the essentials, and everybody has a different list of essentials, but a refrigerator's high on the list, a fan often is on the list, and also if you have any medical equipment that requires charging and so forth, that's high on the list. So most of the time, a small generator, around a 4,000 watt generator, like this real traditional one here, is usually enough for that. But the whole house generators have really come down in price considerably, and they'll do all the homework for you. The power goes out, turns on automatically, and can power your whole house. They're not as expensive as you think.
Okay, so the question is, how far away from the house does it actually have to be? We talk about that, we preach it, but where you're standing, would it be safe right there to plug it in?
It would be here because it's all open and nothing is enclosed. But that is a big problem, that a lot of people will put it too close to a window, leave the window open a little bit, or put it in an enclosed garage where that carbon monoxide can get into the house. It's colorless, it's odorless, and it's deadly. So you need to make sure you have a safe distance away from the house. This is a pretty good scenario here.
Yeah, Dan, it's kind of a catch-22, because what do you say to the homeowner, Danny, who's like, look, I have a generator, I'm going to operate it, but I'm afraid it's going to get stolen. So they tend to do what you're saying. They tend to put it a little bit too close to the house. What do you say to them?
Well, I tell you, I see a lot of people using the bicycle locks and just lock it to a tree. You hate to have to do that, but that is something that I see a lot of people doing all the time. You're still a safe distance away from the house, but you're protecting it from the bad guys.
All right, so what about during the fall when snow knocks out the power and it's really cold, or maybe an ice storm? Can you run your heating unit or something that can warm you through a generator?
Well, that's a tricky one there, Stephanie, because, any type of space heater uses a lot of electricity. Now, if you had a small space heater and a generator like this one, you're okay. 2 space heaters, maybe not. So there's a lot of really good online calculators that'll allow you to look at the appliance you're thinking about doing and then see how it relates to what type of power you need on the particular portable generators. You may want to step up a little bit so that you're not really restricted on a lot of the things you're using during those power outages. And also, one of the tricky things is you do need to keep your generator dry. So I see a lot of makeshift type of covers over those. Almost anything that you can put up over it to keep the snow or the rain off of it is sufficient to protect your generator.
All right, so Danny, I was going to ask you what you should do afterward, because every tool that you use, you typically have to clean it.
We have like 15 seconds.
Yeah, we have like 15 seconds. How do you clean your generator? What should you do afterward?
Just wipe it down with a damp cloth. Don't take a water hose and spray it, because it can really damage it. That would be the best thing to do. And also, if you're going to store it for a little while, it's a good idea to use some fuel stabilizer to keep the condensation from causing a problem inside the gas tank.
All right, Danny, thanks. You did. We're going to be
Thank you,
back next hour with more tips on how to heat your home and get it ready for the fall. By the way, you don't plug in a generator. You plug things into the generator. I misspoke.
Yeah,
Just wanted to correct myself.
Crank that baby up. We'll be right back.